How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Drum Forest Drum Gaming, and today will be part 3 of the E3 games that look good to me and really stood out to me. I realise E3 now was a few weeks ago, but so this will be my last one on this one. Once again, apologies if I've missed any out. I didn't manage to catch all the press conferences to this, but I saw quite a few, and these were the ones that really stood out to me. Today I'm going to be going over games that were shown in the PC Gaming Show press conference and also the Microsoft press conference. And as I said, this will be my last one on E3, and then from next week onwards I'm going to go back to sort of my normal Let's Talk subjects. But so first I'm going to go into the PC Gaming Show conference that went on, and there wasn't a huge amount of games which stuck out to me, but there were a few which really caught my eye. One of the first ones was XCOM 2 expansion, War of the Chosen. Now, for any XCOM fans out there, this looks fantastic. The XCOM games are very good. I've not been a die-hard fan myself, but I have enjoyed them, what I've played, and there looks like a lot of extra content for the XCOM fans. The storyline includes 3 new factions, which sort of as you play through, you get help and you have to get their trust, at which point you can unlock sort of 3 new classes, which are apparently the strongest classes that have been made in the XCOM series so far, so that's awesome. And it goes into sort of the Chosen are these 3 new sort of general enemies, like generals of the alien army, who you keep coming across, and they sort of learn as they fight, so they come back with different ways to fight and things like that. Apparently it's easily twice as big as any previous XCOM expansions, which for any XCOM fans out there, once again, sounds pretty awesome. So XCOM fans, you guys want to be looking out for that one, because that looks absolutely smashing. The next game I wanted to just talk about quickly was BattleTech. Now this was a strategy tabletop game, and there have been some makings on it before, but this one really looks like it's hit home with the game, the tabletop one bringing it to PC. So you go around space as a mercenary group with a load of battle mechs, taking jobs from all sorts of kinds of people for just all different things, from the real high up lores to just petty sort of things that you need to sort out just to get money. Obviously you're mercenaries, so the more damage you take on your mechs, then the less money you make if you complete things like that. And it's really into the strategy combat kind of thing once again. So all different things, making sure you're hidden or not with your mechs, take cover, get around the map, long range fire, things that really help you out, and just sort of little bits with the combat, like if you damage certain bits of the mechs, different things will happen. So if you attack a mech and destroy one of its arms, the weapon of that mech on that particular arm will then obviously no longer be functioning. And just little things like that which really make it look super detailed and makes it look like a lot of fun. And other little details, like if you do too much, like your mech can overheat and then shut down from overheating in the middle of battle, so you got to kind of watch the heat of all your mechs and things in battle. So that one really looks like a real cracker. Looks like they put a lot of time and effort into that one, guys. The next one I'm going to talk about is Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. Now this is I didn't see too much on this, but this is a third-person action game in which you play sort of like a lord or a general and sort of control an army as you fight other armies effectively, set in sort of the era of knights and Mongols and things like that, and it just looks like a hell of a lot of fun. As I said, I don't know too much about it. I mainly just saw the trailer for it and a gameplay trailer for it, and it just looks like a lot of fun. It's definitely one I'm going to be grabbing myself. The next one is Total War Warhammer 2. Now, for any fans of the Total War series or Warhammer fans, I mean, I'm sure you've played the first one, absolutely banging game. Now this second one has apparently got masses of new gameplay extras. They showed some actual gameplay coverage in the actual interview, and it looks exciting. It looks absolutely smashing. I'm telling you now, looks unbelievable. You've got 4 whole new factions, 4 new countries. You know, there's a lot to it. It's coming out December 28th, 2017, and apparently what they're also going to do, I can't remember the exact words he used, but they're going to make it so that you can use all the maps and all the races, factions from the first game as well, and bring it sort of all together. I can't remember if that was a pre-order bonus or not, or whether that's going to be something they do in the future. I honestly can't remember on that one, but I remember him saying something about that. And seriously guys, that game looks like a cracker. Like, seriously, grab that game. Looks like a hell of a lot of fun. Once again, I'm going to be getting that September 28th. Grab that, guys. Just a small one, Destiny 2 is coming to PC. Now, whether you like Destiny or not, this was one of the big things about Destiny that was sort of always up in the air, that people really always wanted Destiny on the PC. PC gamers wanted to play it and whatnot. And so, as I said, whether you're a Destiny fan or not, because it seems to be that you're never in the middle. A lot of people either love it or they hate it, but it seems to be a big thing for the PC world is that Destiny 2 will be on it. So that's pretty big news. A nice little game after that was shown is a game called Tunic. Now this looks like, I didn't see much of it, it was just a small gameplay trailer, and it's basically a 3D sort of isometric top-down view, sort of like your dungeon crawler kind of games. And you basically play this little fox with a sword, and you go around, you sort of fight. I assume you collect loot and stuff. Once again, it was a very short gameplay trailer, but from what I saw, it had this beautifully charming graphics and very fun looking gameplay to it. So that is definitely one I'm going to be looking out for, because it just looks like one of those games that you can just sit down and have a really good time with, you know. Just looks like a lot of fun, to be perfectly honest with you. The next one is Killing Floor 2, the Summer Sideshow. Now, any fans of Killing Floor, you'll know Killing Floor originally had a lot of seasonal events, and with Killing Floor 2, a lot of people have always been asking sort of, when are all the seasonal events coming out, like when are you doing one? And so this is their first one, Summer Sideshow. Now there's a lot of new costumes, new guns, it's set in a carnival, so there's a lot of new enemies like clowns. You got they've taken sort of the monkey that has the symbols in its hand and given it like a chainsaw. It looks very silly and very fun. So fans of the Killing Floor games, and they are good games, they are good fun games, get that, because I actually believe you can get it now. Like, it's already out by this point, definitely, so I'm not sure how much longer it's got left at this point by the time this video comes out, so apologies about that. But so that one always looked good to me, but even if you can't make it in time for the Summer Sideshow, Killing Floor 2 is a banging game. And the last one from the PC gaming show, which really stuck out to me, and this is a big one, was the Age of Empires Definitive Edition. Now I'm sure all of you out there remember Age of Empires was an amazing game, and this goes back many years. This was a cracker of a game, absolutely smashing game. The gameplay was innovative, like the idea was innovative at the time, like the size of the game was great as well. There was so much to do on it, and basically they have fully remastered this and just done little things, like they put new zoom levels in, which I know is minor but actually seems really useful. They've taken the soundtrack and re-recorded the entire soundtrack for this new edition, so it's going to sound crisp and clear and real sort of oomph to it. As you remember, this is one of the biggest games of all time, and this is going to be awesome. So look out for this one, guys. This is going to be unbelievable. The next one I'm going to come to is Microsoft and their press conference. Now, the thing with Microsoft's press conference I found was that there wasn't, they showed a lot of games, and I mean a lot of games. So I felt one of the problems was there wasn't enough time for people to actually talk about the games. A lot of it was just small gameplay trailers, or just small trailers in general that didn't show anything about gameplay. So there's a lot that stood out to me, but there's not much I can fully go into detail on, unfortunately. So this one may be a bit quicker, but this list here, but I do apologise if it is. So the first one I'm going to come to is a game called Metro Exodus. Now, anyone who's played the Metro games, some people love them. There are some people who sort of think that, yeah, they're okay. This one looked fantastic. Once again, post-apocalyptic world. There's mutated sort of monster-looking enemies like rats and weird-looking bears and things. Looks like a very big world to sort of explore with different kinds of weapons, from guns to crossbows. It's your general sort of first-person shooter. And the gameplay trailer that they showed looks stunning. It really did look good. So keep your eye out for that one, guys. The next one I'm going to talk about is, once again, this is one of those ones that they showed a gameplay trailer for, but I don't know much about it, and it's called Deep Rock Galactic. Now, from what I could tell, it's sort of a team game, an FPS game, and it looks like you go from different planets in the solar systems to mine materials, but then sort of as you're doing it, sort of like monsters and creatures come to attack you in these tunnels and underground where you've been digging and stuff, so you then got to defend against there. It looks like a good game from what I saw on the gameplay trailer. The art style looks very fun and has this very cartoonish feel to it, which kind of brightens it up in a way, even though it seems quite dark in the sense that you're going through tunnels, digging, and then you suddenly get attacked by a horde of kind of creatures. So I'm looking forward to seeing more on that one. The next one I'm going to talk about is, a lot of people have obviously heard about this for quite a while, and that's State of Decay 2, a zombie apocalypse game, third-person survival shooter. Like, you build relationships with people, you choose how to build like your civilization and where you defend that civilization. Very open-ended, a hell of a lot to do, and it looks pretty brutal as well, which, you know, for a zombie game is always needed. Like, it's no point doing a zombie game with like confetti coming out of them, because that would just be rubbish. So that looks like a really good one. Now the next one, which I saw, which I've not seen anything about before, so I was quite surprised by this one. It's a game called The Darwin Project. And this game seems to have a really awesome concept of, it seems to be sort of like, if you've seen the film or read the books of The Hunger Games, and it seems like it's based around that sort of style. You're in an arena fighting a load of other people, and there's different weapons, and all these people have different abilities and stuff, and like you can track people using footprints and things like that. Very PvP looking game, and it just looks like a good time, to be honest with you. Looks like there's probably going to be a lot of sort of character balancing that's going to need to happen and things like that, but it looks like a good fun game. Big news for Minecraft players. Any Minecraft fans out there? Is a massive market. Basically, Microsoft is putting servers together for complete cross-platform and multiplayer. So you're talking PC, you're talking VR, you're talking mobile games, you're talking consoles. They are putting that together so that, you know, Minecraft becomes even bigger. Just even bigger. And it's already a bloody big game. Like, you can't deny that one. So that's pretty awesome. Now, a small trailer was shown for a game which I cannot wait for personally, and that is Dragon Ball FighterZ. Now, I love Dragon Ball Z. I have done since I was a kid. It's always been my favourite show when I was a kid, and it's always stuck with me. Absolutely loved it. And basically, they've gone for the sort of the 2D side, although it's 2.5D obviously, because it's obviously 3D, but it's the side-on view arena sort of fights they've gone for. I can never remember the official word for that, annoyingly, and but they can have it up sort of like 3v3 fights and things. The graphics look like that awesome cel-shaded graphics that the Dragon Ball Z games quite often go for recently. I mean, I personally absolutely am so excited for this one. I love the majority of the Dragon Ball Z games. Don't get me wrong, there have been a lot of bad ones in the past, but especially recently with like the Xenoverse games were absolutely cracking. Xenoverse 2 was phenomenal. I loved that game. So I cannot wait for that one. A new MMO RPG that's coming out called Black Desert, third-person MMO. Looks like it's filled with a lot of magic, knights, monsters, giants, all that kind of magical stuff, you know, that's actually in quite a lot of MMOs. But the gameplay looked good, what I saw. It looked pretty fun, so I'm interested to hear more about that. The next game is Code Vein. Now, it looks fairly dark. It looks like there's a lot of demons. There's a lot of, what I saw, a lot of sort of broken cityscapes. Third-person combat, sort of almost like the Dark Souls kind of sort of style of combat. Maybe a bit sort of faster paced, though, it looks like. I think it was cel-shaded. I honestly can't remember off the top of my head, but it looked that sort of style, sort of cartoony style. So I think it's going to be obviously a bit lighter than the Dark Souls games. But at the same time, I honestly don't know. They didn't talk about it much. It was just, once again, it was just the trailer. But I'm looking forward to that one. Now the next one, and I'm sure a lot of you already know about this, and they showed a good old gameplay trailer of this with someone talking over it, telling you what's happening, what you can do, and Sea of Thieves, the pirate game. Now obviously pirate games are difficult to come by for good ones. Obviously last week I spoke about Skull and Bones. Now I think this one is out beforehand, because I think it's already in, I'm not sure what kind of testing it's in at the moment, but it's going to be out a lot sooner. But this is more sort of a cartoony feel to it. It's all completely sort of online in a shared world, which is cool. So you create your crew and things, and you do things together, like to run a pirate ship. You all do different things, like one person gets the sails and all that kind of thing. You can fight other pirates and stuff like that, which is awesome. It's got a, as I said, it's got a very cartoonish look to it, but it's got an absolutely humongous world to it, where you can go swimming in the ocean, where there's sharks and all sorts, and you want to go get loot, you go hunt for treasure. Like, you can do all sorts of little things, like you can even fire yourselves out of cannons, like to either get on another pirate ship or to get on an island high up, and just little things like that. It looks like a really good fun time to have with your friends. I don't know if I'd ever play it on my own personally, but especially playing with friends, if I can get a group of friends together to play that, you know I'm on that. That sounds like a cracking time, that sounds amazing. The next one I saw was Super Lucky's Tale. Now this looks like a sort of new 3D slash 2D platformer, sort of 3D platformer with 2D sort of side-scrolling parts on it, akin to sort of the Mario 64s, the Banjo-Kazooies, those kind of games, but it looks very colourful. The gameplay looks very smooth, and it looks good fun, like one of those games that you just look at it and you think, actually that just looks like good fun. There's not loads of in-depth story. It just looks like, you know, I'm going to pick up my character and I'm just going to go, like, a basic storyline, keep myself very entertained, and it looks like it's really going for that old school sort of 3D platformer style that seemed to have gone quiet for many years. Like, obviously we had Ukulele recently, and some people loved that. Like, some people said, yeah, that's really gone back to the roots, which is great. So it looks like maybe Microsoft are keeping up that trend with this one, like, you know, having this one come out. Maybe they're thinking, yeah, Ukulele did well, so we'll join them on that and smash this out as well. So I'm looking forward to that. A release date for Cuphead was given. Obviously, anyone who doesn't know what that is, it is a 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up with very old-school looking animation. Like, if you imagine like the Steamboat Willie kind of animation from back in the day, but with colour. So it's maybe a bit later on than the Steamboat Willie, but sort of that kind of movements and things. Very colourful, very vibrant, but looks very entertaining. So they gave a release date for that, and that is going to be September 29th, 2007. So that looks like a whole lot of fun, especially for some of that couch co-op gaming that, you know, is just being missed nowadays. I saw a very entertaining trailer for Crackdown 3 at this press conference, and that was with Terry Crews in it. Now, Terry Crews is always an entertaining man, and especially when people get him to do adverts and trailers. It was so funny. But Crackdown 3 is a Crackdown game that fans have been waiting for a very long time. Anyone who doesn't know, you got fully destructible environments, fully open world, you're going around shooting, blowing stuff up. It is great fun. So that is coming. That is coming, guys. It's on its way. Again, I didn't see much about, but it looked nice. It just looked really nice. It's a third person, looks sort of fairly dark with possibly demons and monsters and stuff. It was called Ashen. As I said, I don't really know much about it. It was just a gameplay trailer with no talking or anything. Not a gameplay trailer, just sort of a general trailer with hints of gameplay in it, and yeah, there was no talking or anything, but it just looks like a nice game. It looks like a good game. Look, the art style looks lovely, so I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. I really am. The next one I'm going to talk about is Shadow of War. Now, obviously, everyone knows that's coming out. They just showed a bit more of it, which is always fun for me because I loved the first game. I cannot wait for this one. I loved Shadow of Mordor. I thought it was fantastic, and it really just looks like they've taken everything from Shadow of Mordor, which was awesome, and then just gone, let's crank it up to 11, guys. Boom, smash it. You got bigger area, you got more use of the Nemesis system, which is pretty awesome. So with the Nemesis system now, like, you have to sort of keep on the good side of all these people who you make under you, otherwise apparently they can betray you and things, and little bits like that. The combat looks just insane still. The stealth sections look like they're still going to be amazing. Like, you can use your followers that you get with the Nemesis system to attack fortresses and things. The world has become so much bigger because of this as well, so you can really put together a proper army and things. And then, like, if you anger enemies and stuff, but like, they may track you across the map seeking vengeance against you, which I think is a really awesome mechanic, like actual enemies tracking you where you're going, trying to kill you because you pissed them off at some point. And then, yeah, with the fortresses, like, you can plan your attacks with the fortresses, choose what generals you want to use and which bits of their armies you want to use. So it looks like there's going to be a lot to this one, guys. And the other bit was the bit they showed us with the gameplay footage. It looks like there's just a bit of comedic sort of conversation between your character and the orcs and stuff as well, which I think is great. Nothing wrong with a bit of sort of like comedy in there, like, not silly comedy, but you know, it makes sense, like, sort of when you see it. So I quite liked that one. And the last game I'm going to talk about today was a game they showed called Anthem. Now, this has been created by BioWare, those absolute legends. Now, it is a huge open world that looks like there's some interesting characters. It's a first-person game when you're inside the city, but when you get outside the city, you're in third person, which looks pretty sick. And it's basically set in a futuristic world. You play a freelancer to explore the unknown and protect humanity, which sounds pretty awesome. They seem to be set up inside some kind of massive city inside some walls. The graphics look insane because they showed us a big old gameplay trailer and it looked phenomenal. You get these exosuits called javelins, which are like fully customizable with all sorts of different weapons, and each javelin sort of has different special ability, not special abilities, but specialities to it. So some are quicker, and sort of some are just heavy and for big damage, you know, that kind of differences. The world looks absolutely huge and gorgeous. It looked stunning, like all the different set pieces they had. It looked absolutely fabulous. It looks very hostile, sort of when you leave the walls and stuff. There is a lot of wicked looking creatures, man. So many different looking ones as well. It looked great. Like, there's loads of different ways to do missions and stuff, all sorts of different weapons and to customize your javelins with. And the best part is, it seems like you can play fully online with your friends. So you create a team, you go do all these missions, you go flank people, you go sneak up on people, you do it all, man. Big guns, you just nail for everything. There were also, the thing that I loved the look of, they showed right at the end of these large scale world events, like things like storms and things, which can transport you to different places in the world. Now, this game looks stunning, this game looks great, this game looks big. BioWare are always good at doing these kinds of games, so I am very excited for this one. Remember, guys, that game is called Anthem. Keep your eyes out for that one because it looks amazing. So that's all the time we have for today, I'm afraid, guys. So that's going to be the end of my coverage over what I sort of liked at the E3 a few weeks ago. Those are the last few games I'm going to talk about. I realise, obviously, over the last 3 weeks, I haven't gone hugely into these games. I just wanted to do quick little snippets of the games that I liked the look of, what I sort of liked the look of them. So just very quick things about them, as I'm sure you've realised. So apologies once again if I've missed anything out. I realise I've missed out some of the press conferences. I haven't gone over all of them. Otherwise this would be going for weeks on end, this series. So thank you very much for joining me today. If there's any games I missed out that you want to talk about, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and hear what games you liked the look of and why. But once again, thank you very much. Don't forget to hit that like, share and subscribe button. That would help me out a hell of a lot. And I'll catch you next time. Take it easy, guys.